The golden hour of sunset bathed the rooftop in a warm, amber glow, casting long, gentle shadows across the smooth concrete expanse. Ethan Caldwell stood alone at the edge of the secluded rooftop garden, perched high atop his towering office building in the heart of the bustling city. His tailored charcoal suit jacket hung open, unbuttoned, revealing a crisp white shirt that shimmered softly in the fading light of the day. At 48, Ethan was the revered leader of one of the city's most prosperous consulting firms, a man whose name carried weight in boardrooms and beyond. Yet, beneath the polished surface of his success lay a heavy toll, one he was only now beginning to feel in the quiet corners of his heart. Just an hour earlier, he had finalized a monumental merger, another triumph in a long line of victories, another step upward on a ladder that seemed to stretch endlessly toward a horizon he could never quite grasp. His team had erupted in celebration, clinking champagne glasses and exchanging hearty congratulations. But Ethan had slipped away unnoticed, drawn to this hidden rooftop sanctuary, a tranquil oasis known only to a select few in the towering corporate structure. He loosened his silk tie with a slow, deliberate motion, running a hand through his neatly trimmed, gray-flecked hair, the weight of a profound loneliness settling over him like a shadow no corporate achievement could dispel. His phone vibrated incessantly in his pocket, buzzing, with messages from colleagues, clients, and business associates, each notification a reminder of his professional prowess. But when had anyone reached out just to ask how he was holding up, how his heart was faring in the quiet moments? The soft patter of small footsteps on the concrete surface broke through his reverie, pulling his attention. He turned to see a young girl, perhaps 7 or 8 years old, stepping onto the rooftop from the family daycare center located on the floor below. Her golden blonde hair caught the sunlight, shimmering like delicate threads of spun silk, and her simple blue top paired with well-worn jeans spoke of a childhood filled with carefree play and boundless adventure. Ethan straightened, his mind racing. Children weren't supposed to wander up here alone. He considered calling for assistance, but before he could utter a word, the girl approached him with the fearless curiosity that only a child possesses. Her steps confident and purposeful, she stopped just a few feet away, her bright, thoughtful eyes meeting his with an unwavering gaze. "You look sad," she said simply, her voice clear and direct, as if stating an undeniable truth like the warmth of the sun above. Ethan froze, caught off guard by the raw honesty of her observation. "I'm Lily," she continued, undeterred by his silence, her tone warm and inviting. "What's your name?" "Ethan," he replied automatically, then, almost as an afterthought, added, "Ethan Caldwell." Lily nodded thoughtfully, as if carefully storing his name in her memory for safekeeping. "Are you sad?" "Ethan Caldwell?" she asked, her question piercing through the armor of his professional demeanor. The words struck him like a quiet thunderbolt when had anyone last asked about his feelings. His inner world, his life was built on competence, results, and strategic alliances, not emotions. His family, scattered 3 states away, kept their conversations limited to holiday plans and perfunctory birthday cards. "Perhaps I am," he admitted softly, his voice tinged with a vulnerability that surprised even himself, as if the truth had slipped free after years of being locked away. Lily took a small step closer, her tiny hand reaching out to gently touch his arm. The simple gesture of human connection sent a wave of unexpected warmth through him, like sunlight breaking through a heavy fog. "I know what sadness feels like," she said, her voice soft yet steady, carrying the weight of a wisdom far beyond her years. "When my dad went to heaven last year, I was sad for a really long time." Her words held the quiet strength of a child who had faced life's hardest lessons too early, her tone matter-of-fact yet laced with tender understanding. Ethan found himself kneeling down, drawn to her level, wanting to meet her gaze properly. "What helped you through it?" he asked, his curiosity genuine, his heart opening to this unexpected encounter. "My mom told me something important," Lily said, her eyes steady and kind. "She said when you're lonely, you forget that you're not truly alone. Friends are all around you, you just have to ask." She tilted her head, studying his face with the intense, heartfelt focus that children bring to what matters most. "Can you be my friend, Ethan Caldwell?" The question, so pure and beautifully simple, stirred something deep within Ethan's chest, a warmth that felt like a long-forgotten melody. When had anyone sought him out as a friend, not a business partner, not a networking contact, but a true companion? "I would be deeply honored to be your friend, Lily," he said softly, his voice thick with emotion, his heart swelling at the sincerity of her offer. Lily's face lit up with a radiant smile, one that seemed to illuminate the entire rooftop, brighter than the city's skyline. "Really? Even though I'm just a kid and you're a grown-up in a fancy suit?" Ethan glanced down at his expensive suit, his polished leather shoes, the carefully crafted armor he wore to navigate the corporate world. "You know, Lily," he said, a gentle smile breaking across his face, "I think you might be the wisest person I've met in years. That's because kids know things grown-ups sometimes forget," Lily said with unshakable confidence, her voice brimming with conviction. "Like how to make friends, how to share snacks, and how to see when someone needs a hug." "Do you think I need a hug?" Ethan asked, a mix of amusement and wonder in his tone, marveling at this heartfelt conversation unfolding on a rooftop with a 7-year-old philosopher. Lily nodded solemnly, her expression earnest. "Everyone needs hugs," she said. "My mom says they're like vitamins for the heart," without waiting for permission. She wrapped her small arms around his neck, her embrace warm and unguarded. Ethan hugged her back, his heart swelling with a tenderness he hadn't felt in years. This little stranger somehow seeing through his polished exterior to the lonely man beneath. "Thank you, Lily," he whispered, his voice rough with emotions he'd kept buried for far too long. When they parted, Lily sat cross-legged on the concrete, patting the ground beside her with a welcoming gesture. "Friends sit together and talk," she declared with authority. "What do you do for fun, Ethan Caldwell?" Ethan lowered himself to the ground, his tailored suit pants brushing the rough surface, and realized he couldn't recall the last time he'd done something purely for joy. "I work a lot," he said after a pause, his voice tinged with regret. Lily frowned, her brow furrowing. "That's not fun. What did you do when you were my age?" Ethan's mind drifted back, far back, to a time before meetings, mergers, and the relentless pursuit of more. "I used to build model airplanes with my grandfather," he said, memories flooding back with vivid clarity. "I loved reading adventure books, and I wrote stories." The recollection brought a spark of warmth to his eyes. "You should do those things again," Lily said with the certainty of someone who just solved a complex puzzle. Friends remind each other to have fun. As they sat together, watching the city skyline glow in the fading golden light, Ethan felt a warmth he hadn't known in years, the simple, profound joy of genuine human connection. Lily shared stories of her favorite books, her pet goldfish, named Sparkle Finn, and her dream of becoming a teacher to help other children learn important lessons. In return, Ethan found himself opening up about his grandfather's workshop, the smell of wood and glue, the stories he used to write, and the dreams he'd set aside in pursuit of a success that now felt hollow and unfulfilling. "Ethan Caldwell," Lily said suddenly, her voice firm, "you need more friends, not just me." He chuckled softly, the sound warm and genuine. "You're probably right, Lily," he admitted. Feeling lighter than he had in years, she stood, brushing off her jeans with a practical air. "I have to go downstairs now, Mom's coming to pick me up. But friends don't forget each other, okay? Will you remember to have fun sometimes?" Ethan rose, smoothing his jacket, his heart full. "I promise, Lily," he said sincerely. "And will you remember you have a friend in Ethan Caldwell?" Lily giggled, her laughter like a melody, and extended her small hand for a formal handshake. "It's a deal, friend." As she skipped toward the rooftop door, she turned back one last time. "Oh, and Ethan, next time we meet, tell me one of those stories you used to write." Friends share their best stories. After she disappeared through the door, Ethan stood alone on the rooftop once more, but the solitude felt different, alive, with possibility rather than heavy with emptiness. He pulled out his phone, scrolling through his contacts until he found a number he hadn't dialed in months. His brother answered on the second ring. "Tom, it's Ethan," he said, his voice steady but warm. "It's been too long. Would you like to have dinner this weekend? I'd love to really catch up." As Ethan walked toward the elevator, his mind was filled with thoughts of model airplanes, adventure tales, and the profound wisdom of a 7-year-old who understood that the most important business in life was the business of being human. The greatest deals, he realized, weren't negotiated in boardrooms, but offered freely by small hands and open hearts, reminding us that friendship is a treasure that grows richer when shared. The golden hour faded into twilight, but Ethan carried its warmth within him, knowing that tomorrow he would hold fast to Lily's lesson. Friends are everywhere, waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to ask.